It is January 19th, 2012. I just recently, a few days ago, got a membership again to the Circleville YMCA. Right now they have gymnastics going on, so half the cord gets cut off. Not that anyone else is in here besides me right now. But a couple days ago, I got permission to finally start cutting off my beta blocker completely. I have 6 more days where I am taking 1/8 of a 25 milligram metoprolol tablet. So I'm literally, cutting the pill in half, and then that half into a quarter, and then luckily I have a good pill cutter because I'm able to cut that quarter into an eighth, which is like really tiny, but the nurse practitioner I saw in my cardiology office recommended that I take that small dose for a week instead of just cutting off of it cold turkey. Like, some doctors will, let you stop, 25 milligrams, if you're taking it twice a day. There's people that, stop, that high of amount, and are completely fine without weaning off of it. But her viewpoint is that it's better safe than sorry, and you want to taper off as much as you can, which I actually agree with. But anyways, I've been living at the shelter for for a little over 4.5 months, and I'm feeling a lot healthier. That's why I'm here at the gym and have membership. I've been riding my bike around town like crazy since I don't have a car, and it's like forced me to get in a lot better shape and to improve my circulation and strengthen my central nervous system. And so with a lot of bike riding, and I was going out and doing some 5K runs out of the Circleville High School track on my own. Haven't done that in a while, but sure has helped me out tremendously. But more than anything, coming off of this beta blocker has drastically improved my well-being, as far as just the fact that metoprolol, the beta blocker, lowers both your heart rate and your blood pressure. I was originally diagnosed with vasovagal syncope, and my diagnosis is still up in the air. I have a neurology appointment February 14th, so hopefully I can, figure something out from them down the road and get a firm diagnosis on what exactly has been happening to me the last 1.5 years. But anyways, getting my beta blocker cut down. The last time I got it cut down, not this time, but the last time, when it was cut in half, down from 12.5 milligrams twice a day to 6.1 6.125 milligrams. Just cutting the beta blocker down that much, it was like someone just woke me back up into life, and I felt like 1,000 times better, and I could get out. And I noticed when I was playing basketball, all of a sudden, I could play longer, and I could sprint up and down the court again. This wasn't just from, getting in better shape over time. It was like a drastic, instant change, as soon as I cut down on my beta blocker medication. But I still rely on Klonopin though. So there's definitely, either some sort of anxiety problem or vasovagal could still be vasovagal syncope, could be, something completely different. Have no idea. But, yeah. Today's Thursday, and I thought that they had what they called noon basketball today, but I guess they only have it on the schedule for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have talked to a few people recently, and they said that even on those days that very rarely they'll be lucky enough to get a 5-on-5 game going, and if they do, very rarely will people stick around for that long, which I'll have to see for myself to find out the validity of that. I luckily, when I first got my membership, I think it was on like a Saturday, then I came back in on Sunday, and it was late afternoon both days, and I was able to actually play 5-on-5 for like more than I was able to handle. There was enough people here both days, so at least I know on the weekends people will be here. They're mostly high schoolers, but it's actually like a huge challenge for me because I'm coming off my medication and I'm like way out of shape. I can't dunk like I used to be able to. In the past I was used to being the fastest, or at least the second fastest person on the floor, even though I was normally the tallest. But so playing against a lot of these high schoolers and most of them aren't on the basketball team. They shouldn't be here playing open gym anyways. If they are, it's usually a team policy. But a lot of these guys are recreational players that play football or soccer, wrestling, and they're just coming here, but they're all in decent shape and they can all run up and down the court. Same thing with open gym. I'm going to on Tuesday nights at Circleville Nazarene Church, which they recently, in the past couple of months, started having this. It's called Upward Sports. It's like basketball practice and like training for younger kids. And we used to have adult open gym basketball over there at 7, and they had to kick it up to like 8:45 p.m. And I'm still on the veteran shelter, so I have a 11 p.m. curfew. And just 2 days ago, this past Tuesday, we were like playing a lot of games, and like it was getting pretty late, and then I lost track of time and ended up having to call the house manager. And the funny thing was, I was all the way on the other side of town, and it was like 10, or it was 11:13. I was literally like on the edge of like main north section of Circleville by Carnival Foods. And funny thing was, it was 11:13. I called the manager, and I just like randomly told him, hey, I'm gonna be 25 minutes late, or about 25 minutes. And I even though I was already late and I didn't have any reason to get back to the house any faster, because the manager doesn't live there, and we're kind of like on our own. So I was already late, and I called the manager and just let him know, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. But I did kind of speed on my way back home on my bicycle, and I had I was carrying a little bit more than this stuff right here. My 2 backpacks with basketball shoes, and I was wearing a lot more clothes because it was colder that night. But actually, yeah, I told him I was gonna be 25 minutes late past curfew, and when I got home, it was like, right when I walked in the door, it like literally turned 11:25 on the dot. It was like crazy. That was like crazy coincidence. That was a good estimate on my part, even though I wasn't like I didn't consciously know, that I was going to show up at exactly 25 after, but I said it and it happened, so it freaked me out. Yep, 11 minutes in this video so far. No one else came into play. It's good to know that people are probably actually out working, which, by the way, there's like 75 to 80% chance I'd say that this new company moving into town called Rural King, it's been around for a long time, but it's never been in Circleville. And where the old Walmart building is, after that, Walmart moved and they built a super center. This one company called Grandview Weekend Outlet tried to set up business, and I guess that was a flop because it wasn't there for very long. It was like this huge store full of like thrift store quality or like dollar store quality merchandise. Dollar stores aren't supposed to be that big for a reason, because you could walk around that whole place and it'd be like almost empty, so it like made no sense how they were profiting, which looks like it turns out they weren't. But anyways, Rural King is moving into that building now, and I had like a good 30-minute interview, if not longer, with one of their head managers on the spot. I was actually riding past there I was checking in over at Aldi's because Aldi's pays really, really good for cashiers, and the cashiers not only get paid a lot for starting out $10.75 an hour, that's $3.35 more an hour than minimum wage, and minimum wage is all you can really expect from like almost any place in town here. So yeah, the difference between $7.40 and $10.75 is like huge, and on top of that, you actually get to sit down in a chair while you are scanning people's groceries and taking their money. I mean, you got it made for a cashier. I mean, $10.75 an hour still sucks. Still, sometimes drives me nuts that I used to make almost $18 an hour selling furniture, and I held that job for 6 months and just ended up leaving because I felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything in my life, and it was like the same, doing the same thing over and over every day, and it just started to drive me crazy, and I wanted to experience new things. But anyways, I should hear something back within the next week or two from Rural King. So yeah, like I said, I have a good chance to get hired there, and then in the meantime, I'm going to try my best to get hired on at Aldi's, because Rural King, unfortunately, it's both part-time, and they're greedy and they only want to pay you $7.40 an hour starting off, and it doesn't sound like they give raises anytime soon. I'll find out though. So hopefully I get the Aldi's job over the Rural King job. If not,